Listen, this is becoming a class by the day on Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi. That's why I told you people that you can't just continue wasting your time and looking at these people based on their achievements, but looking at them from an academic point of view. And that is why my page is quite unique on these very notes. And this is something nobody will teach you. So I went to ChatGPT and I was doing a number of research, and he came up with this. Yeah, we're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, and you know that anything that is academic, will look at it from an academic point of view. In fact, anything that has a superior mentality, will look at these two people from an academic point of view. So here he said on segment 4, he says cultural symbolism. Listen, he said Ronaldo represents. Listen to this. Ronaldo represents self-made ambition. Self-made ambition from Madeira to global icon. Right? Listen very carefully. Pure work ethic narrative. Pure work ethic narrative. Now, Messi represents nurtured genius. Nurture. I need you to take those words very carefully. It's not just a genius. He nurtured his protege to becoming who he is. So the hard work there is in nurturing his being a genius, right? Now, talent refined within a system. Talent refined within a system. In developing societies, especially across Africa, which story resonates more? The boy who worked himself to the top, or the genius who mastered his crafts? Now, what it's trying to say here is between Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, which of this do we have to reckon with in developing ourselves to becoming like a developed society? So all we have to do is like take a clue from developed societies like the UK, the US, Canada, some of Australia and all these people, Germany, France, how do we have to take a clue from these societies? We that are Africans that are developing, when they say Africa is a developing society, it's kind of like ChatGPT or this kind of people trying to be nice. Otherwise, I would say it's underdeveloped. So how do we change our society from an underdeveloped situation to a developing situation, to an actual developing situation? Which of these crafts do we master? Which of these people, which of this mentality? Because these people to me are mentalities. They are no longer football players. Their mentalities have graduated to the extent where I see these people as mindsets. So which of these mindsets do we have to reckon with? Now, when you look at it from my own perspective, which I think is a fact, when you look at the evidences presented. Now, from my perspective, you see that we've tried the Cristiano Ronaldo's mentality, and that's all that resonates in Africa. That's why we're failing. That's why we're failing. What's that? Self-made ambition. That's what's up, right? So self-made ambition has become a thing in Africa. Talk about Obi Kubanas, Dangotes, blah blah blahs, Anthony Joshua's and all these things. But I'm really happy when a Nigerian came around to say that money wouldn't even save you in Nigeria. Money would not save you in Nigeria. So in all those crafts that were built, I've seen so many people with everything they've built for themselves. The system shrugged them down. The system did what? The system brought them down. Why? The reason is because they never used what they have to refine the system. Do you understand? So what they were doing is they were taking from the system and was building themselves, and they were building themselves, right? So that's exactly the Cristiano Ronaldo's approach. I call it the Cristiano Ronaldo approach. But let's look at Lionel Messi's approach. He says represents a nurtured genius. Now, first of all, what is this genius? Listen, he said talent refined within a system. Now he didn't just refine his talent. What he did there is that he was able to use his talent to refine the system too. So the system also helped him to refine his talent, and he used his talent to refine the system. And that is exactly what these developed societies have been able to do for themselves. So it goes without saying that if we must have to develop our societies, all we've got to do is to follow or reckon with the Lionel Messi approach. That's what Africa needs right now, the Lionel Messi approach. Self-ambition is trash. I'll probably use the F word if I wasn't on social media, right? But it's trash. It's effing stupid, right? It's effing stupid because we've looked at a lot of things and we see that people have been doing this, and all we can say is, Tada, what's happening? How far? How long? To what end? We see that these things have done nothing. But now when we look at the Lionel Messi's approach, using who we are, our talent, nurturing our talent to the extent that we're refining systems, we're refining societies, we're creating workable systems, we're creating functions, we're extracting indictments, we're extracting collective problems, we're building collective strengths, societal strengths. We're not looking at we're not looking at self-made ambition, blah blah blah, right? So that's why I always tell people, you cannot afford, if you're not I sang a song that say, if you're not a Lionel Messi fan, who the heck are you? Who the F are you? You don't work. Your brain is not working. It's not working. It's very clear, right? So let's look at this, guys. This is not a page to talk about statistics. It's a page that goes directly into the brain. That's why you all call me prof, and I must represent, right? Thank you, my students. Thank you.